Credit card offers you consumer protection by means of warranties and fraud protection as well. Meanwhile, the protection for debit card usage is very Hey guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new, you're beautifully welcome. Thank you so much for joining my channel. Please consider subscribing down below and be sure to turn the post notification bell on so you can get notifications each time I post a new video. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining again. You know the vibes. Give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to share with your friends. In today's video, I'll be comparing the debit card and the credit card system. If you're yet to see my previous video on how the credit card system works in Canada, I'll link it up here so you can go check it out. I got a couple of questions and comments from that video, which I would also be answering in this video. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing is, what is a credit card and what is a debit card? A credit card is a means of payment that allows you to borrow funds from the card issuer up to a certain limit and pay back over a specific period of time. Meanwhile, your debit card allows you to spend money that is already in your account, except you have an overdraft agreement with your bank. What is an overdraft agreement? An overdraft agreement with your bank allows you to spend money beyond what you actually have in your bank. A good example is if you have a $500 overdraft agreement with your bank. This means if you have $3,000 in that account, you would be able to spend up to $3,500 in that same account. By means of debit, you can even withdraw up to $3,500. So you don't have to spend the entire $3,500. You can even spend $3,200. You can even spend the $3,000 that you actually have in your account. It's not mandatory for you, but in cases where you issue checks to people, you can actually issue check of up to $3,500 and it will go through because you have a $500 overdraft agreement with your bank. Most banks will charge you interest on the overdrawn portion of your bank account. So if you withdraw up to that $500 limit, some banks will charge you interest on that $500 portion that was overdrawn. Some other banks allows you to withdraw up to a certain limit without charges. Depends on the kind of account you have with your bank. You can meet them to discuss an overdraft agreement. Debit cards allow you to withdraw up to the overdrawn limit you have set with your bank. Meanwhile, on the other end, credit card only allows you to spend a certain limit provided by the credit card issuer. So you might have a credit limit of up to $1,500, $2,000, even up to $10,000. This means you can spend money from your account without actually having that money. So you can spend up to $5,000 without actually having $5,000. Then there is usually a payment date. If you make payments by that date, you don't incur any interest. But if you don't pay by that date, then you'll be charged interest fee on the unpaid portion of your credit limit. So what are the similarities of credit card and debit card? They both look the same. They both have the same 16-digit card number, and they both have expiry date and a PIN number. They use PIN. Another similarity is that they are both means of payment and you can use them in withdrawing cash as well. So what are the differences between these two cards? The main difference between these two cards is that the debit card allows you to spend money that you already have, while credit card allows you to spend money by means of loan, which you'd have to pay back later on. Credit card offers you consumer protection by means of warranties and fraud protection as well. On the other end, protection for debit card is lesser compared to that of the credit card. Another differences between these two cards is that credit cards could help you build your credit score, and a good credit score leads to a good credit rating or good credit history, such that you can have access to buy a mortgage later on or finance a car if you have a good credit history. On the other hand, debit card does not impact on your credit score because this is just you spending money you have. It doesn't monitor your credit behavior. The third difference I have between these two cards is some credit card offers you reward, loyalty points, travel points, and some valuable perks for using the credit cards. Meanwhile, there isn't so much rewards for using your debit card. Another difference between these two cards is that credit card is usually more expensive compared to debit card. Credit card providers could charge you annual fee for issuing you the card. Meanwhile, you don't really have such charge for the debit card except on your bank account. And also some stores will charge you money for if you don't spend up to a certain limit on your credit card compared to the debit card. If you're buying Some stores would say if you don't buy up to $10 worth of item, they will charge you maybe $1 or $2 on that for using your credit card. Meanwhile, if you're using your debit card, you're spending money that you already have, so they don't charge you for using what you already have. Also, for the credit card, if you don't pay back your credit as at the due date, then you'll be charged interest. Meanwhile, for debit, you wouldn't incur interest charges. Last major difference between these two cards is that for people with poor credit management, or if you don't know how to manage your finances well, you could get into huge debt with the credit card. This is because it can be very tempting if someone tells you, oh, you have this card and you can spend up to $10,000 on it in a month, and you really don't need something but you get to buy it because you have that resources or you have that funds available to you, and you know you can pay back over a period of time. So you're not very frugal with your expenses, you tend to spend more with your credit card. But this is not the case with debit card because you are only spending what you already have, except in the case of an overdraft agreement with your bank. So that's pretty much the differences between debit and credit card. So now I'll be taking the questions I got in the previous video. I would have to look through my phone so that I can read the question and answer them. I'll put the question down here as well. The first question I have here is, will I still pay if I don't use the money? This is for the credit card. So you don't have to make payments if you don't use the credit. If you have $1,000 credit limit on your credit card and you don't spend the money at all, you wouldn't have to pay anything. The next question here is, if I'm unable to finish my credit limit, do I still have to pay the unused amount? No, you don't have to pay the unused amount if you don't finish your credit limit. You only pay back the sum of the credit limit that you used. The next question here is, do you carry over unused credit limit? I think this person is trying to find out if you have 1,000 credit limit and you only use 400, will you be able to carry the $600 unused limit for the next month? No. Your credit card is $1,000 limit and you can only spend 1,000. So if you don't use the credit limit this month and you don't use it next month, then that's it, it's gone. And meanwhile, you need to also know that if you don't pay back the used portion, you would not have that portion of the limit available for the next month. So if, for instance, you have $1,000 and you spend $400 this month, next month you only have $600. Until you pay back that $400, you only have $600. The next question I have here says, what determines your credit rewards, and do all banks give rewards? So credit reward is mostly dependent on how you use your credit cards. So some credit card companies have partnership with like stores like Walmart, Sephora and all that. So if you buy things of up to a certain amount of money from those stores, you will be getting credit reward or credit points based on the agreement between your bank and the store. And do all banks give credit reward? Most banks actually have a benefit or a perks or a point system for using the credit card, because they try to encourage people to use the credit card. That's how they make money, I mean. So they encourage you guys to use the credit card. So I'm yet to actually see a bank that don't have a reward card. So I want to believe that most banks have the reward. The next question I have here is there any tax implication on using credit over debit for transaction? So I guess this person is trying to find out if you would pay more or lesser tax for using your debit card or your credit card. No, that's not the case. You still pay the same taxes on your purchases using both debit or credit card. So if your tax is 15%, your HST is 15%, you still pay 15% on what you're buying using both debit or credit. The last question I have here says, will my credit score affect my interest rate in the case of buying a mortgage? I actually like this question the most. The lower your credit score, the higher the interest rate that you'll be charged on your mortgage. And also, lower credit score would lead to lower access to mortgage. So say for instance, if you have a high credit score of up to like 750, you'll be able to access a higher amount of money for your mortgage, and you'll be paying lower interest rate as well. If you have low credit score, you'll be able to access a lesser amount of money for your mortgage, and you'll be paying higher interest rate. That's all the question I got from the last video. If you have any question, you can leave them down below. I'm more than happy to answer your questions in the comment section. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share with your friends and family. And if you are yet to subscribe, I mean, what are you waiting for? Please be sure to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to turn the post notification bell on so that you can get notifications each time I post a new video. Don't forget to check me out on my social media at Whiz_Queen on Instagram and on Twitter, and WhizQueen B on Facebook, and on Snapchat WhizQueen. That will be all for this video, guys. I'll see you guys in my next video. In the meantime, stay confident. Bye bye.